Hey everyone, it's JoJo, and I'm here to do a scary story time. So this is going to be the first scary story time of the season. I'm going to do four. I'm going to try to do four this season. This one's actually going to be a two-parter. Yes, this is the first part. This is when I babysat for my cousin's kids. So my older cousin has two little boys, 5 and 6, and they actually live in Pennsylvania. So they live in Lancaster, where my friend lives, and they wanted me to babysit one night. So before I even start the story, I want to tell you I'm wearing Vampire Blood from Bath and Body Works. I'm currently burning Hot Cocoa and Scream candle from Bath and Body Works, and I have in my little ghost mug from Target pumpkin tea. Okay, so my cousin wanted me to babysit. Now, I know he's very far away, but he was like, listen, I just moved to PA. I don't know anyone around here. I'll pay you good. This was actually 2 years ago, almost to the day. The kids had just started school. It was like the end of September 2 years ago. So they had just started school again. And yeah, he wanted me to babysit. He had a business meeting. Him and his wife actually worked together, and they both had the same business meeting at like a restaurant or something, and they were going to be there. It's gonna be like a gathering party / dinner party. They were gonna be there from like 6 to like 11 to midnight. So they're gonna be there for a while. And I said, listen, it's pretty far. He was like, I'll pay for your gas. I just want you to babysit. I know like you're familiar with Lancaster. You're always here with your friends. And yeah, I would love for you to come. I'll pay you good. And you know, you can always stay the night. And I said, I can't stay the night because I have work tomorrow. He's like, that's fine. You know, again, I'll pay for your gas. I just really need you to babysit. He really doesn't trust a lot of people. He really does not trust a lot of people. And he's really scared to leave the kids alone with just anyone. So, you know, I'm pretty close with my cousin. I said, okay, fine, I'll do this for you. So I drove, you know, it's a 3-hour drive, but I drove. And I do like the kids. I've been to the house before, and I really, really like the area. He has a really big, beautiful house. And yeah, I like the kids. But, you know, I've hung around them many a times before he moved to PA. He used to live here in New York. Oh, the teas are really good. So this was a Friday night. So they didn't have to go to school the next day. They said, listen, they want the kids in bed by 10 o'clock. I said, that's fine. So I had things planned for the kids. I wanted to bake for them. I wanted to watch a movie, maybe play some board games. You know, the kids, one of them's really rambunctious. Like the other one's kind of quiet. The other one's really loud, and the 6-year-old's like the loud one. The 5-year-old is like the quiet one. So my cousin left, and I ordered pizza for us, and I was baking us cookies and stuff in the oven, and you know, I made them hot chocolate. I made myself a cup of tea, and we sat down. We turned the lights off, and we started to watch a movie. Now it started to rain. It started to rain really bad. It didn't storm yet, but it starts storming later on in the story. It starts storming really bad, but right now it's just like a heavy rain going on outside. And yeah, we're just chilling and everything, and there's a knock at the door. And my cousin told me that he wasn't expecting any company, but I was like, okay, there's a knock on the door. So I answered it, and there was this guy with like a hoodie on, and I couldn't really see his face. And again, it was dark and it was rainy, so I couldn't really see him. And I was like, who are you? He was like, oh, I'm Jacob. I'm a family friend. I go, are they home? I was like, no one's home. I'm babysitting tonight. You know, my cousins are not home. Oh, well, tell them I stopped by. I'm Jacob. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I go inside, and I sit down, and the kids were like, well, who was at the door? I said, this family friend named Jacob. I'm like, do you know him? Oh yeah, I know him. I play with him all the time. you know, when I'm at school in the schoolyard, he comes and visits us and he plays with us in the schoolyard. I was like, okay. Okay, so I was like, yeah, okay, the kids know him. So okay, so he must really know the family. So I'm sitting down and it's like 8, 9 o'clock at night and it's starting to rain like really, really bad. And now it's starting to like storm. Like it's starting to like really storm. And at this point I'm like, okay, well, it's basically time for bed. And I'm like getting like the kids ready for bed. I bring them upstairs and I come back downstairs and I don't know, like I notice a light on that I didn't turn on. I was like, why is this light on? And then I look and I see like a window open in the kitchen. I'm like, I did not open up that window. But then I'm like, maybe the kids did this. So I was like, okay. So I went upstairs and I said, listen, did you guys open up a window? It's raining outside. Why would you do that? And they were like, oh no, I didn't do that. I didn't open up any window. I was like, okay. So I put the kids to bed. Now it's like 9:30, I would say. And I said, lay down. I said, you guys can chill out for a little bit, but I want lights off in a half hour. At 10 o'clock, I want lights off. Like, okay. So I went downstairs and, oh no, I just turned the lights, I had the lights off. I was watching a movie. I made myself another cup of tea. And I started to hear like them like being like really loud upstairs. So I went upstairs and I said, listen, you guys need to start unwinding. I don't know what you're doing. They're like, we're playing hide and seek. And the person's hiding right now. And I said, what do you mean the person's hiding? I said, get in your beds. In my mind, I'm like, the person's hiding. I'm like, there's just two of them. But I'm thinking maybe they have an imaginary friend. I don't know. I don't have kids. I never wanted kids. I don't know, like about like maybe they had an imaginary friend they're playing hide and seek with. I don't know. I said, listen, get to bed. So I go back downstairs and I'm like sitting down on the couch, I'm watching like TV, and I get a phone call from a number I don't recognize, but I pick up anyways, and I say hi, and there's a man on the other side of the phone, and he's like, "Hey, is this Abigail?" And I said some random girl, and I was like, "No." I'm like, "You have the wrong number." He's like, "Oh no, oh, I'm sorry, I can't believe I did this again. Oh, I'm so lonely tonight. Can you just talk to me?" And I was like kind of hesitant, but I was like, I'm kind of alone too, so I might as well engage in conversation. He was like, oh, I just broke up with someone. I'm like shit out of luck. I don't, I lost my job. And I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that. And he was like, so what do you do? And I told him what I did. I said, I work in retail. And he was like, oh, that's odd. I could have, you sound like someone who would be a babysitter. And I'm like, what do you mean babysitter? He was like, yeah, if my mind is correct, I feel like you're babysitting tonight, aren't you? And I said, how would you know that? He was like, I don't know. Just a lucky guess, I guess. I feel like you traveled pretty far, right? Aren't you from New York? That's what I see in your license plate right now outside the house. I'm like, I was like in shock. I hung up the phone, I ran to the front, because my car is parked in front of the house, and it says New York on the license plate, because, it's a New York license plate. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy must know, like, what the hell's going on here? Like, who is this guy? Is he from the neighborhood? I don't know. Is he watching me? So I started getting really afraid. And then I started realizing, I said, that voice sounds so familiar to me. I said, where did I hear it before? And then I realized that was the voice from the guy that came to the front door earlier asking for my cousins. And I was like, oh my God. So then I hear the kids running around upstairs again. So I'm like, oh shit, let me go check on the kids. So I run upstairs And I'm like, kids, get to bed, get to bed. I'm like, no, we're finishing playing. No, we're finishing playing hide and seek. I'm like, who are you playing hide and seek with? It's just the two of you. Jacob. We're playing hide and seek with Jacob. I said, what? I said, where's he hiding? Where is he hiding? He's in the closet, right behind you. I was like, I said, get in bed. So I slowly turn around and I'm literally shaking, guys, trying to answer, like opening up this closet door. So I open up the closet door really slowly. And at this point, I'm like shaking. I'm like, please let these kids like be like, you know what I mean? I'm praying that these kids are like making this up, right? So I open up the closet door like really fast, you know, one of those fast motions. There's no one there. I said, there's no one in the closet. I said, stop scaring me like that. Like, oh, well, we didn't know where he hid. We just thought he hid in the closet. I guess he's outside the bedroom somewhere. I said, is there anyone in this house? You need to tell me right now because I just got a crazy phone call and I think someone's watching the house and I really need you guys to be honest with me. They were like, don't worry, it's just Jacob. He's a friend of ours. We play with him all the time. I was like, absolutely not. So I tell him to get to bed. I'm like running around trying to figure out what the hell to do. I say, let me call up my cousin because my cousin knows this guy Jacob supposedly, so let me call him up. So I go downstairs, I call up my cousin, I said, listen, I need to understand, I'm getting a prank phone call. This guy came to the house earlier. Hey, listen, I need to know, like, did you expect company tonight? Like, are you in on this prank with the kids? Like, I need to know if you're scaring me. Because my cousin used to prank me earlier when we were kids, like, even teenagers. But I'm thinking, like, he obviously grew out of it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? I said, well, there's this family friend of yours that came to the door. His name is Jacob. We don't know anyone named Jacob. What are you talking about, Joe? I was like, the kids know this guy Jacob. The kids know him. I mean, I thought you knew him because the kids knew him. No, the kids would not know anyone named Jacob. What are you talking about? We don't know anyone named Jacob. My heart dropped to the ground. I said, can you guys please get home? They were like, listen, we can't. Like, we're in a business meeting. We're like an hour away. They were like literally in New Jersey, like at the end of New Jersey going into Pennsylvania. So they were pretty far away. Like, hey, listen, if you feel threatened, just call the police. And I was like, okay. I was like, maybe I'll just calm down and see what happens. Like, maybe I don't know. I was like really, I didn't know what to do because I've never been in this situation before. So I hung up the phone on my cousin, and then literally right after I hung up the phone, the storm got really bad to the point where the lights blew out in the house. Everything blew out. We lost electricity. And I was like, my rotten luck. So then I go upstairs and I have my phone with me and I run upstairs and I have my light on my phone and I go into the kids' bedroom. I said, listen, we just lost electricity. I'm just gonna stay in the room and we'll have the door locked. I'm like, listen, you cannot leave. We're gonna stay in here until your cousin gets home in like an hour or so. Until your father gets home and my cousin in an hour or so. And they were like, okay, we'll just lay down. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting down and it's pitch dark, right? Because we just lost electricity. And at this point, I do have their bedroom door locked. And I'm on my phone. All of a sudden, I hear footsteps in the bedroom. I'm like, kids? And then I see the bedroom door open. Like, I hear the bedroom door open and I see like a little bit, because you know how you can still see like, there's like a little light coming from the window. You can still see a little bit. I'm like, kids, I wake, and then one of the kids are in the bed. I said, they have bunk beds. They're like in bunk beds. So I wake up the one in the bottom. I said, well, wait, like you guys are here. Why did the door just like, oh, you know, I can't use their real names. I don't want to use their real names. Oh, I'll just say Charlie. Charlie went to go use the bathroom. And I said, no, I told you guys not to leave the bedroom. Like, why did you leave the bedroom? He's like, well, he really had to go. I was like, oh my God. So then I leave the um the bedroom to try to find the kid, because at this point I don't know what's going on. And as I'm trying to look, I hear I hear like a bang coming from downstairs, and like noises, like someone's like running around. And I'm like, oh my God, is that one of the kids? I was like, I don't know, but I was like really afraid, because I was like, I don't know what's going on. So then oh my God, I was in a frantic, but then I called up my cousin. I said, listen, did you guys get home? Because I thought, I was like, maybe you guys came home, because I heard like a banging going on downstairs. And they were like, no, we're still at the dinner party. I said, Joe, is everything okay over there? I was like, well, I didn't want to tell you guys, but we just lost electricity, and I heard someone running around. I heard like a bang coming on downstairs, like around in the living room, kitchen area. And I thought maybe you guys came home. They're like, no, we're not home yet. And I was like, okay. I was like, let me go find your son, because he's supposed to be in the bathroom. So I hang up the phone on them, but I don't know where the bathroom is. I know where the bathroom is downstairs, but I don't know where the bathroom is upstairs. So then I go back to the bedroom. I said, where's the bathroom? Up here. Oh, just down the hall to the left near my parents' bedroom. I said, okay. So again, I have the flashlight on my phone. So I'm creeping down the hall with the flashlight on my phone, and I get a phone call, and it's the guy. And I pick up and I say, please leave me alone. You're really scaring me. I don't know who you are, but you don't know the kids. You don't know this family. I don't know why you lied to me. Please leave me alone. And he was like, it's a shame you guys lost electricity. Now you can't see that I'm 2 feet away from you. I panic. I run back into the kid's bedroom and I lock the door. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know where the other kid is, but I'm like in hysteria right now. I said, listen, I need to call the police. I call up the police, and like, listen, I have someone that's like stalking me, he's scaring me, he's like calling the house, calling me. He's telling me he's like 2 feet away from me in the pitch dark. We had just lost electricity due to the storm. And the cop said, listen, we'll be right there. I was like, okay. So I'm like shaking, and I have the bedroom door locked, but you know, the kid's bedroom door locked. I don't know where the other kid is. He's supposedly in the bathroom. And then I hear banging on the bedroom door. And I was like, who's there? Who's there? And it's the son, one of the kids. I was like, oh, thank God. So I open the door, he runs in, I lock it. I'm like, listen, we have to stay put, that's it. I don't even know if he's in the bedroom right now. I don't know if he snuck in sometime, I don't know. So I don't know if he's even in the bedroom. I can't tell. I have only a little flashlight on my phone. And I wasn't gonna leave the bedroom, and I realized, I'm like, shit, I have pepper spray, but I left it downstairs. And I was like, I'm not going downstairs now. So all of a sudden, I'm like, this was really scary. If you guys can just put yourself in my shoes, I was frightened to death. So the cops come, and they're outside the window, and I'm like screaming down to them. I said, listen, I don't want to leave the bedroom because I don't know where the guy is. I don't know if he's here or not. Listen, we'll protect you. You can come down. We just can't barge down the door unless you answer it. Like, we can't do that. Like, please. They assured me nothing would happen to me. I said, okay. So I open up the bedroom door. I have the flashlight. Get in the pitch dark. I go downstairs. I'm like creeping downstairs. I open the door. The cops come in. And I realized I stepped on broken glass. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I let them in, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized that someone broke the light bulb, like in the foyer, like broke the light bulb. I'm like, that must have been the noise I heard from upstairs earlier. And then I saw like glass, like there was a vase broken and everything. And I'm looking at my flashlight. They have their flashlights too. And obviously it looked like a big like mess, but I'm like, that's not the way I left. Like, it was not here before I went upstairs. So someone definitely is in this house. So I got really afraid. I'm like shaking, crying. They're like, where are the kids? I said they're upstairs in the bedroom. with the door locked, and I'm like shaking at this point, and they were like, okay, well, we'll search the house, we'll search the house, and they searched the entire house from what they can see from with their flashlights and everything, and they didn't find anybody. And they asked the kids, they said, do you know this guy Jacob? Like, did you see this guy Jacob tonight? Like, I told them, I said that they supposedly said they were playing with him upstairs in the bedroom. They're like, no, we weren't playing anyone with anyone. I'm like, come on, that's what you told me. Like, no, 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 that never happened. I never said anything. I don't know if they were lying or they were trying to, play with me, or they were afraid of the cops, so they just lied and said they didn't see anyone. But they know what they told me. And then I realized, I said, the footsteps I heard they didn't sound like kids playing upstairs. It sounded like a grown man walking upstairs. Like when I think back to it, it didn't sound like normal little kid footsteps. It sounded like a grown man walking. So I felt like he was definitely upstairs playing with them. And I don't know how he got in the house, but then I was thinking like maybe there's a door, a hidden door down, because I don't know this house that well. So I was thinking maybe there's a door or some kind of window downstairs that wasn't shut or locked and he got in. I don't know. So my cousin finally got home, and we told him everything that happened, and supposedly they were going to gain electricity back in the morning, and they said, do you want to stay? I said, I don't feel safe staying here. I'm sorry, even with you guys home, I don't feel safe staying here. I'm just going to drive back home. And they were like, okay. Like, listen, like, text me when you get home. I was like, I will. And in my mind, I'm like, he's gone. He's not coming back. There's no way. Like, what could happen on the road driving back home, right? Like, I'm safe in my car driving. Like, what could go wrong? Well, that's going to be for part 2 of the story, because you guys don't realize the worst was yet to come. I couldn't believe what happened to me when I was driving back home from PA to New York. And I regret not staying at my cousin's that night, because had I, the next part of the story would never have happened. This is definitely a 2-parter story, and I is gonna need to take two separate videos to tell the full story. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this scary story time, and definitely look out for part 2. Yeah, well, I love you guys, and have a good night.